So as I'm recording this, if it gets uploaded, not only has Israel done a preemptive strike on Iran, but Iran has retaliated now with like 100 plus drones. And there's a lot of chaos and confusion as to who's hit what. And apparently, a lot of higher level officials, important people, have died in Iran in the Israeli strikes and don't know a whole lot. They're still surveying the damage or the hits from the Iranian retaliation. So a lot has happened in the last several hours. And as people have pointed out, from things I shared last night, as well as others, comments and whatnot, that it all started on Friday the 13th. Dun dun dun. I mean, what can I say? You know, People can research it themselves, but, dates do have meanings at times with the occult and the Satanists, the elitists, and all that jazz. So, anyway, very interesting though that it was still the 12th here, but the 13th over there, and so people can look at whatever videos I've shared to the post or do their own research on things that are going down. But yeah, so Israel did the preemptive strike, and now Iran is retaliating and so forth, and you know. And Rubio, at least we had nothing to do with this. Our hands are clean. No, we're not complicit in any way, shape, or form. Oh my gosh, it's a clown show. So yeah, oh yeah, we're completely innocent. Yeah, this country's completely innocent. We had nothing to do with any of this. Right? Oh, it makes me laugh because it's so stupid. Speaking of stupid, can't help it. But just speaking of stupid, that's what people are that are going to parades, protests, riots, whether it's the No Kings thing, whether it's wanting to burn down and loot your own cities, or whether it's going to some dumbass military parade in DC. Oh my gosh. What a bunch of morons. Why do I say that? Check out JWTV, Steven Jackson, and the video he put up. Very, very interesting. Not so funny in this way at all. But people who claim to have been on planes, they have gone to the protests, the riots, the whatever else, they're sick. They don't know why they're sick, but they're sick. Some people just minding their own business, going to work or whatever, and they say, "Oh, I've had like five, COVID tests or whatever, and it's not that, it's something else," and they're sick, and they don't understand why they're sick. But some of them have been out in the rain, and apparently they found that there's parasites in the rain. Imagine that, you know. So, I mean, come on. I mean, how else do you say it? They are doing whatever they possibly can, they meaning the people that don't want humans on the planet, you know, doing whatever they possibly can to eradicate people, you know. And what better way to do that than to get a bunch of people together and protest and crowds and parades and all kinds of stupidity, you know, and just release biotoxins or whatever else. People say, "Oh, that's crazy." Okay, well, maybe, but check out JWTV's videos on this, especially the one I just shared to the post, and there's others. Okay, the bottom line is people are getting sick. They don't know why they're getting sick. And years ago, there was a show on called a mini series called The Hot Zone. It was actually on the National Geographic Channel, if memory serves correctly, which kind of talks about some of this. They've had it in TV and movies and so forth and so on. But if people don't think that, that has anything to do with anything, then people will completely ignore that and just say, "Oh, that's just sci-fi and just entertainment purposes and all this stuff like the false prophets for entertainment purposes only." You ever notice that how they put out for entertainment purposes only? I got a word from the Lord, but it's for entertainment purposes only. Oh man, it's just so funny and stupid. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, what if this thing in Atlanta is true? What if and I don't know because I don't subscribe to all the Patreon channels and the deep intel and all of this stuff. People either send me stuff or inform me of stuff, but I don't know. But say it is. All right, and someone actually contacted me and asked me, because they know I've had some training and so forth, and it's been a long, long, long time. But what I do remember though is if you're being trained and you have to wear certain types of gear, uh, be trained with using equipment or whatever else. It's not a long training, and it's a lot of it's kind of common sense, and it's just like following directions of how to put things on and how to take things off, and taping it up here and taping it up there, and so forth, and wearing the different type of clothing and apparatus and so forth. And the main thing is, the taking it off and the decontamination and the proper disposal of everything and whatnot. So, say for instance, they sent all this different equipment and gear or whatever to prepare for some type of biotoxins or some type of attack, chemical weapons attack or whatever else. Okay, whatever it's like MBCR, CBN they call it now, basically. But anyway, it was MBCR when I was in the military and going through this training. But it doesn't take long. I mean, it really doesn't. Like a couple hours, depending on how smart people are, a day or two to train all the staff, and to get everybody ready for some type of breakout at a hospital or whatever. And I didn't think, when I talked about this in my last video, I didn't think about it at the time. But when I was talking to my friend, or actually we were texting about it or whatever, and he asked me about, how long does it take? And I said, not long, man. I said, honestly, it's a lot of it's common sense, and you just follow directions and do what they tell you to do as far as decontamination and proper disposal of stuff or whatever. But it dawned on me at the time that if this is true and they sent this stuff to Atlanta Hospital or hospitals or whatever, it makes perfect sense because that's where the CDC is located, is in Atlanta. So when you look at the huge cities, throughout the nation or whatever, there are certain things, certain government entities and locations or whatever. Like they said, oh, I think Langley is in like Northern Virginia or whatever. Oh, we're gonna have protests or riots in Northern Virginia. Oh, that's interesting. I guess it's up to like 1,800 cities now or whatever for the No Kings thing, the No Kings protests on it. Okay, so you have strategically located areas of these protests and riots, and some of them are in bigger cities, some of them are larger cities or whatever, like 1,800 scattered throughout the U.S., and some of them are like 2 or 3 locations within the same city, depending on how large it is or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, what a perfect opportunity to, like the title of this video, set up people for the dun dun dun, you fill in the word, because I don't really want this video taken down, but if they do it, they do it. But think about it. What a perfect opportunity to take out, eradicate, whatever, make people sick, whatever, as many as possible with all these fools, idiots, morons, dumbasses, whatever. And I'm just being real here, okay? I mean, you got to be stupid to go to these things. You just got to be dumb to put yourself in these positions, to go to these protests, riots, parades, whatever else. How many times have we had situations happen with large groups of people, large gatherings, large crowds, and then people run vehicles through them and kill a bunch of people? Oops, I said that word I shouldn't have. Whatever. But, I mean, and then they, how many times have we seen this? People being trampled, all kinds of fights break out, just stupid stuff, right? All right. Well, what a perfect opportunity to, it wouldn't be an obvious thing, most likely. They just drop things, from the sky, from the trails or whatever, or release some type of toxin, some type of chemical into the environment, the air, the water, whatever it is. And all these people at these protests, these riots or whatever, blah, filling the streets, doing stupid stuff, looting and burning and rioting, or maybe even just peacefully protesting and holding up signs and, protesting whatever. They're being set up, man. That's what I see. That's how I see it. They're being set up. So avoid all this stuff, man, like the plague, because it might be a plague. Avoid it all. Because the thing about it is, and I know this is going to sound really, really cheesy, okay? But this is what comes to mind. The original Batman movie, like way, way, way back, like 30 plus years with Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker or whatever. Well, I've seen the movie many times over the last 30 plus years, mostly because, I used to work a lot of night shifts and dispatching ambulances and security and stuff like that. And way, 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 way back, they had VHS tapes, right? And, in down times, between patrols or when there wasn't much going on, much to dispatch or whatever, people pop in tapes from time to time, VHS tapes, and one of the favorites was Batman, and it's just like, okay, here we go again with Batman, but, because people only had so many VHS tapes, the other dispatchers or security officers or whatever the situation was. I mean, this is way, way back, okay? Like, that movie came out in 1989, okay? Like, we're 2025 now. I mean, it's crazy. But there's a particular scene in the original Batman movie with Keaton and Nicholson and so forth, where, toward the end of the film, where the Joker makes the announcement that he's going to drop a bunch of cash on the city, and everybody come out, and because they're all going to get free cash, and he's going to make everybody rich. And he sets up all these balloons or whatever. And he doesn't lie about that, at least, and so he's out there doing this big parade, and all these people are all gathered in Gotham or whatever, and they're celebrating and having a good time, and it's like New Year's Eve or whatever, right? And so, cash is dropped, but at the same time, he gasses everybody as well. So it doesn't matter. So while people are like grabbing for the cash, they're also being gassed to death. So it's just like, what good does it do them? Because they're dying as they're grabbing for the cash, right? So Batman comes in, he swoops in, and he gathers all the balloons and he takes them up, releases them up into the atmosphere or whatever, If you remember the movie, if you've never seen it, but that's pretty much what happens. But in the meanwhile, a lot of people die because they're being gassed, because they've been set up. They all came out, they all gathered, huge crowd into the streets or whatever. Yeah, money dropped, but who cared? So who cares? Because they died while they're trying to gather the money. Now, I'm not saying that stuff like that's going to happen, because that's too obvious. That's cheesy, right? It's too obvious. No, no, no. It'll be much more covert. People won't know that they're getting sick. They won't know that they're being poisoned at the time. They know it later on. Watch the JWTV. I shared it to the posters. Go to JWTV and watch his video on it. The people giving the testimonies about how they're sick and how they have these rashes. They don't know where they came from. And they're coughing and they're hacking and they're puking and they don't understand why. And they're sick, And some of them have been on airplanes and everything else. Are people starting to get it yet? Are they starting to get it yet? But no, they won't. People are going to do whatever the heck they want to do. It's summer. It's vacation time. It's partying time. It's having a good time, whatever else time, right? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do probably this weekend. I know it's Father's Day, but it's like, whatever. That's being overshadowed by everything. War and protests and riots and stupidity and parades and whatever else. And all of this. You notice how it's also, what's the word, hubris? There's so much hubris and pride and arrogance. Yeah, we're going to celebrate 250 years of the Army and the President's birthday and Flag Day, and we're going to have this huge parade, and we're all so awesome, and make America this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I shared something to the post. Most people didn't see it. Sent it to a few friends. Kind of humorous, but at the same time, a lot of truth to it. Years ago, there was this show on called Our Cartoon President on Showtime, and it was when during the current president's, it was his first term, and they were mocking him and so forth. And I think Stephen Colbert produced it and somebody else, I don't remember. But it's called Our Cartoon President, and you can find clips on it, from YouTube or whatever. People like, oh yeah, that's mean and this and this. Yeah, no argument. Pretty funny though, some of the clips, right? But there was this one particular one, and I didn't watch the show. I didn't have Showtime or whatever. I just found out about it somehow. I don't remember. And I've seen a few clips from it, like it's like watching The Simpsons or whatever. And I've seen, and you can find quite a few clips on YouTube of it, and it's buffoonery, right? It's stupidity, but at the same time, there's this one called militarization, and you can go to my post, you can see it, or you just type in Our Cartoon President Martial Law or whatever, or militarization, okay? And it was back when Bolton was the National Security Advisor. He was considered like a major war hawk or whatever. And so they're having this conversation in the Oval Office, the cartoon Bolton, the cartoon, president, whatever. And, you know, and Bolton presents this idea that, hey, you can do whatever you want. You're in charge of the military, you big goof kind of thing, You can do whatever you want. Talk about a major foreshadowing here. And it's just like that you're the commander in chief. You do what you want. You can have a huge parade in your honor if you want to. You can have tanks rolling down the streets. You can do whatever you want. You can give meter maids machine guns. And they show all this, like he's got like this dream sequence. Remember, it's a comedy. It's buffoonery, and he's showing this dream sequence of this wonderful parade and fireworks and flags and the military lining the streets and the tanks coming through. Sound familiar? And this was like, I don't know when this show was on, 2017, 2018. I don't remember exactly. I don't recall. But not horribly long ago. But like I said, it was during the first term. When they're really mocking him on this television show, as well as the cabinet at the time. Like I said, Bolton was the National Security Advisor at the time, so it was years ago. But he shows this, in this dream sequence of this huge military parade. Wow. And what's going to happen tomorrow? What are they planning tomorrow in D.C.? Wow. That's all I can say is wow. So, you know, I don't know how else to say it. In all seriousness, though, it seems like that kinetic WW3 is broken out now between at least Israel and Iran or whatever. And yeah, like I said, we're totally innocent. That's what Rubio wants us to believe, right? We're totally innocent. We have nothing to do with this. Give me a break, Marco. Come on, man. But a lot of people will believe it. They'll believe it. The false prophets will believe it. And speaking of the false prophets, how come none of them talked about this? How come none of them prophesied this? How come none of them prophesied everything else that's going on now? No. It's always about the wealth transfer or, the massive arrest or whatever else. No, but nothing to do with any of this, right? Completely missed it on that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, like I said, I got off track. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do this weekend? Probably yard work, and whatever else needs to be done. Maybe watch some baseball or whatever. And I'm staying the heck away, man. I might go into Babylon to get my hair cut. Maybe. But other than that, I'm staying out of Babylon, man. Get out of Babylon. Quite literally, getting out of Babylon, because I'm going back home, hanging out in the local area, staying the heck out of Babylon. I'm in Babylon all week, I'm staying the heck out of Babylon, man, because I'm not getting caught up in this mess, this stupidity. They want people to be involved in this stupidity so they can eradicate people. Maybe not right off the bat, but people are going to get sick. Hopefully they don't die, but people are getting sick. They don't understand why they're getting sick. But the one thing they have in common is they're out in Babylon and they're out doing stupid stuff and they're out in large crowds and large groups and they're on airplanes and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're just doing whatever they want because it's summer. Hey, there's a price to pay, man. People better be smart. They better be wise. They better wise up. They better wise up quick because it's getting really, really dangerous out there. So, hey, get out in nature if you can. Hopefully, it doesn't rain too much or whatever. But get out in nature if you can and enjoy God's beautiful nature if you're able to. But stay away from Babylon. Stay away from the cities, man. Stay out of the stupidity, because you might regret it. And your family or whatever else. I know people left comments. My family's planning to go to this. I don't know what to tell you. People are gonna do what they want to do. I've had people contact me about this and that, and it's just like, what do you want me to say? People are gonna do what they want to do. They're stubborn, dumb mules. They're gonna, once they make up their mind, there's no change in it. People are gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. What do you want me to say? I'm sorry, but they just will. And pray for them. Pray that the Lord may reach their heart, may reach in and grab it, and squeeze it. I don't know, change their mind, so they don't put themselves in harm's way. Their family is in harm's way. They don't do stupid stuff. I don't know what to say. People are gonna do whatever they want to do. That's just part of being a dumb human. So, anyway. I told somebody yesterday, I said, we've never been dumber in the information age. We just haven't. We've never been more stupid in the age of information. I mean, people can't even write cursive. They can't read cursive. I mean, they can't speak English. They can't, when they type a text message, it's like reading a foreign language. Like, what the heck are you trying to say? Because they don't even know proper grammar. They don't know sentence structure. We've never been dumber in the information age. So when I say people are fat, lazy, and stupid, yeah, that might be insulting, but tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So, I mean, we've never been dumber in the information age. And people are going to be really, really dumb this weekend, unfortunately. And they're probably going to pay for it. All right, that's all I got. I know. I'm insulting. I'm offensive. I'm hurtful. I'm mean. I get it. But doesn't mean I'm wrong. All right, y'all take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.